Royal Consulting Solution is the foremost location for all your land acquisition, building needs, relocation, and starting a successful business in Ghana. We also provide quality information through our consultation and webinar series. We can be reached at royalconsultingsolutions.com. Come join the trusted source for all your reliable information. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. If you're here, let's check the sound a little bit and let me know how the sound is. Thank you for Obibini African. Thank you for joining me today. So my mic has been acting up a little bit. So if I can get a good feedback from you guys about how the sound is, if I need to switch to a different mic, then I can do so. Saturday, I think so few part of the world is Sunday. I hope you're all doing well. Glad to meet again. I switched it up a little bit with African series to talk about something that I feel is very, very important, to let people know that they're not alone when they are dealing with these kind of things on the. Thank you. Sound is okay, boss. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So check in. Let me know who is watching, where you're watching from. You can put in some questions as we go on these discussion tonight. I'll post the link later if you want to join me in and speak on some of the stresses that you've been having and how you are dealing with them. Stresses pertaining to trying to build your dream house remotely, right? From outside, whether you are in the East or the West or South America, in the Middle East, and how you are dealing with this stuff. Because I think um, it is happening. It's not a question about if, it's when. Okay? So anyway, we'll begin. Thank you again for joining me. All right. So one of the things, you start, you've thought about building this dream home, and now you're about to make it happen. So there's this level of excitement. Um, you start looking at plans and looking at architecture features and models and how you want to execute this dream home that you're about to engage in. Um, and then usually, I think everybody start excited, right? You see the blueprints come together. You get a quote for the foundation, which may be high or not be high, and you start a project, and at a certain point, stress is going to set in. Is going to happen. It's just part of the deal. And so I want to share with you some of these stress are normal and how to deal with them, or how I have been able to deal with them. So because when you are stressed, it's going to affect everything, your thoughts, your feelings, it's going to affect your body and ultimately your behavior. And so life is already stressful with everything we got going on, and throwing in trying to build remotely, trying to communicate to the builders how to execute a dream. And times you feel like basically you don't have control over in terms of control about how everything is playing out, right? The videos may not be enough, the pictures may not be enough, right? And so things like, am I making the right decisions? Is the right, did I make the right decision with the type of house I want to build, the number of rooms, is the cost feasible? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if the builder takes my money and run away? All these things, do happen that people think about, right? And also some people are able to deal with stress in general a little bit better because of their temperament, because maybe they have some experience, or maybe their outlook in life, right? And so mostly, your stresses are coming in I would say, 7 categories, right? The one you worry about is misuse of funds, right? Is the builder going to um, steal the money, divert some of the money, maybe not buy the best material. You don't, lacks control and accountability, right? So that's the first one. Another one would be poor planning, right? Poor management due to lack of experience. Maybe the builder, you think, because this is the new radio in terms of the architectural features you have in your house, they're making poor decisions and it's costing you more money to try to implement your dream house. Yeah, another thing too that is really going to cause you stress is underestimation of both materials and sometimes the entire project, right? You got a quote and then it coming back saying, uh, you know, they didn't factor in some things, and so that need to be accounted for, or maybe the material they estimated was actually, less than what they should have, and so they need to cover money. So all this thing can add to your stress because it costs you money, time, and everything, right? And then this is will be internal stress, the source of financing, right? So maybe you're working two jobs, or maybe you have two incomes, and then you were working, and then all of a sudden, something happens, people lose a job, you know, and that kind of stuff, and then you just back to square one, trying to see whether you can actually execute, this building. Then another stress will be coming in through lack of experience, substandard work, which is going to lead to that. Maybe if the builders are not trained, had not constructed that type of building before, lack of exposure. You live in the West, you have an idea of standard of quality and layout of how things should be implemented. The person maybe have not exposure to that, so maybe it's very difficult to communicate what needs to be done and stuff like that. That can cause you stress. And then another one could be inflation, right, which can happen in this building process, which can come out of nowhere. Sometimes, a cement bag was 40 CDs, now it's 50 CDs. Then it goes back to 45, then it goes back to 52. It's all over the place. And so it looks like you can't really budget. It's all over the place. And then the final one would be like a certain point you get into, once you finish the block work, is going to look, which I think people, there's a thought process that block work, I think when you're done with your block work, you're about 35, 40%, maybe at most. It's a lot to be done after that. So maybe you got a block work in, there's a level of excitement, then all of a sudden you find out that you got to do plumbing, phase two, phase three, electrical, plastering, ceiling work, tiles, Andre, painting, roofing, fence wall, and cabinets, doors, door handles, faucets, sinks, toilets, appliances, uh, cleaners, and then you find there's a lot to go. And this may look overwhelming, may look very, very overwhelming. It may feel like never ending project. And so this can compound, it may compound your stress level. Okay, so this thing, everybody's going to go through that. You are going to go through that. I don't care who you are, it's going to happen. The bigger the project, the more the headache sometimes. And so I'm going to give you some of the tips that have helped me over the years, because I don't do videos about something that's happening on my project. Nothing major happens because of some of the things that we put in place and how we are most able to communicate to the guys if I'm not there to execute and implement some of these things. So dealing with the stress. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the single people that are building. I really takes my hat to you guys. It's no joke. I've done this before. I know exactly what it's going to take. And so I really, really appreciate you dealing with everything, not just financially, also dealing with all the stress. And I always say, if you're a couple and you just building by yourself, I consider you like a single person, right? So I take my hat for you. It's not easy. For most cases, it's better doing a couple than a single person, but it's not easy. And I appreciate all the single people that have, also uploaded their videos on YouTube, sharing their experiences and stuff like that. I really, really appreciate that. I think it's dope. I think it's necessary. A lot of women are kicking butt in this area, and they're making it happen. Okay, so I appreciate. I know there's more people than Obibini Africans, so let me hear you are where you are, and if you have any questions on this, whether you've experienced some of these stress that will come up, it will come up. So here's one of the things. So here's my tips on how to deal with it regarding building. So one thing is, there's a tendency that, let's say you see somebody's house and then you tell yourself, okay, if he's done it, I can do it. In theory, possible. Possible. It's possible. But you can never underestimate people's experiences, of what they have gone through over time. They've learned and how they're able to adapt and accomplish, something I think is incredible, building a dream home. And so my thing for you is better not to come in egocentric or arrogant. Be a great student because you're about to, take this journey on. You're about to build a dream home. You've never done it before. Even if you live in your dream home in the West, you probably didn't build it from the ground up. So it's a different thing. And so it's going to be a lot of learning that you need to. And if you're intelligent and smart, you find people that have done it well, and you might go there and try to get some tips, or you know, pay for their service, and they can help you. That is how we do it. I'm not going to try to reinvent and go make mistakes, because a lot of people, what is it, 25% of the homes in Ghana will never be completed for a myriad of reasons. And all of them started with good intentions. They were good people, but sometimes things happen. You know, people do things to them, or maybe sometimes, they underestimated what is really going to take, and they run out of money. And the next, motivation is gone. The house is sitting there 10 years, moldy, in a bushy area collecting dust. Don't be that. Okay. So my advice is, you can never truly know what it's going to take unless you have been through the process fully. Fully. You're doing foundation, you get excited, you think maybe you figure how to build a whole house now. You can't just you can't enroll in college your first semester and figure it out about, you've graduated. You just got to go through the process. And when you go through the process, you are going to, comprehend and also appreciate the journey, and gain that experience. Two, be wise and know your limit, right? And understand with time, right? You are going to learn some of these processes. You can never know. There's a tendency, and I can tell you, unless you're a super, super detailed person, if you're able to build your house in 1 year, you are going to miss a lot of things, because there'll be certain things that is going to slip you. It's going to slip. Also, sometimes when you build in a couple of years, you get time for you to see what is out there, see what options, what you may have. Granted, you are making some provisions for them. So take time, learn the process, and so you can develop wisdom, through knowledge and experience, right? So you can't just, not something you're gonna go read about, watch one video, and then you're gonna figure everything, how to do it. No, number three, which I think is very, very important. This I think is could be the most important for us, is finding the right people, right? Finding the right people, finding the right people. That is gonna take away 80% of the stress. It's going to eliminate that. When you find people that want to ethical, they are accountable to the process. They can, they have quality. They're going to deliver with a reasonable time, because sometimes time on that part of the work cannot be controlled and stuff like that. So that will be, and that is why I'm here, and I'm able still to do projects and not worry about anything, because when you got a good team, you the stuff that I'm not worried somebody's going to take the money and run away and that kind of stuff, or they're gonna do some shoddy job. Okay, so find the right people. It's very very important. Okay, and vet them. Vet everybody's subjected to scrutiny, so vet them. Don't go with just assignment. Vet them. Vet them. Hopefully they've done something that you have done or you trying to emulate, and then pay them. Pay them. Chances are you're gonna pay them a little bit more than the average person, and it's important. So if you work with us, uh, your fee goes towards a peace of mind to be able to deliver, right? So you're paying for that as well. Now, let me give a few shout outs here. Obibini African, thank you. Salif, thank you, bro. I hope everything's good with you. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're doing good. Okay, another thing that it is increasing to a lot of stress is when you're trying to build these homes El Cheapo. Uh, El Cheapo is going to give you short-term headache and mid-term nightmare and long-term disaster because you guys may think about this. When they manufacture a car, it goes through inspection, right? But sometimes with all these inspections, the car can end up being a lemon. Building can be like that. So it's only when everything is put together and you start actually using appliances, running everything day to day and stuff like that, then you can confirm that this thing was built. And you don't see cracking and you don't see all kinds of stuff in there, the first year and that kind of stuff, then you can know these things. So El Cheapo is a bad idea. Am I encouraging throw money away? Nope. Be smart. But you know, I can do it for cheap, and it's gonna give you this, and you hear all of them. Oh, it's cheaper. It's gonna make the room cooler. It's gonna all this stuff. It sounds good to be true. And you go over there. You're in a hot climate, man. Sometimes 90 degrees, 100 degrees, something. Get AC. You know, get big windows. Orientate the house. Use the breeze. There's so many things you can do to do that. So cheaper is gonna cost you, and the labor must be fair because when you squeeze them, they'll make up the labor somehow. Okay. I would say treat your builders with respect. Be firm, but treat them with respect because if you back in others, they can get you. They can get you so many ways. If you can breathe, they can get you. So they can do so many things to you that you would never see it, right? So be respectful. Why you have your expectations that they must meet. Okay. So El Cheapo is gonna cause you more stress, right? Find a great team, quality they can deliver, pay them. Now another thing you have to be careful. This is a big deal for couples or even single to some extent. You are building and you're excited, and it looks like everybody else is gonna be excited for you. It doesn't actually work out that way. You're gonna find out. So do it for yourself, okay? You're gonna find that a lot of people are not excited for you that you are building this dream home. It's not. It shouldn't matter though. And so sometimes the building process, something happened, negative happened, and then you tell somebody, and then it goes downhill from there. And if you're not careful, they kill that dream for you because this thing that happened, which is going to happen in the process, becomes like almost kind of like the worst thing. And now you are stressed out, right? And so you have to be careful how you mitigate it around bad news. If you're a couple, here's a rule. So I'm gonna put this on the men. Um, don't share too many of the bad news. Don't. If you're a couple. Okay, there's no reason being a drama queen and whining about everything that went wrong. It is in your interest not to do that. So don't share the bad news if you're a couple. If the builder call you there's something wrong, take it, think about it, figure a way with the builder how you're gonna fix that. Don't run to the spouse and start complaining, whining, uh, being a little bit drama about that. Because what is going to happen is maybe she was super, super excited about this project. If you continue doing that, it's going to take away her happiness, her dream. And then sometimes this thing leads to argument. And next thing you know, one person say, you know what, I'm not interested and stuff like that. So toughen up, man. Toughen up. Take the bad news in the chin, figure a way, make it happen, and fix it. Okay. So on average, share all the good news, 5% only the bad news. And when you share the bad news, hopefully there's a solution to it. Say, you know what, this is what happened, but this is how we're gonna move around it. And this is going forward. This is how we are going to make sure we don't go through the same thing. That's leader. Okay. You can't have a situation the husband is crying, now the wife is crying, making the builder want to cry. That is not a good look. Another thing that's going to help you, Leslie, thanks for joining in, is that find a support team. A support team. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need this. Great mentors in whatever you're trying to do, and who accomplished this feat and genuinely are interested in helping you. Not everybody fits this bill. There's some people that have done it, and they don't want to share. And sometimes too, when people seek information, they go there with a bad attitude. They go there um, with just arguments and stuff like that. So and sometimes people are like, listen, you know, I don't want to put out with this stuff. So get that support, supporting people who are motivated, driven, who are pursuing this dream, because you will need that. Those people, when you share the negative with them, they understand what it takes and they can help you navigate it. So listen, this thing happens, hanging there, stay fast, and then keep doing this thing. You are going to you are going to get it through, right? So you need that, and sometimes it comes with a fee. PM, you are going to pay. You're going to pay with a peace of mind, or you're going to pay with headache. So it's going to happen, and you get to decide, right? You get to decide. Okay, let me bring. Yes, like Salif said, a lot of commitment and planning, a lot of planning, a lot of planning. And it's almost addictive and obsessive. It's almost every day. What can you do better? And stuff like that. So the planning is nonstop, right? And so it's true. Super Tier said, yes, yes, I agree. I agree. I tell my business partners like, if something happens and he said, he's getting out of the real estate business, I'm closing it down because I don't think I can never work with anybody. Um, that is how much important and great he is. 9 years of no headache, no argument, no money issue, no excuses. Perfect. People like that, nature gives to you one in 1,000 years. You don't find them. So that is the biggest headache. That is the biggest headache because sometimes everybody is good until something happens. Some people, 10,000 gets into their hand, 20,000 gets into their hand, 50,000 gets into your hands, and then all of a sudden, all kinds of stuff is coming out. So I agree, super to you. Um, yes, yes, yes. And when we do consultations, right, we tell you how to vet people. I've never done a vetting video because that is not for public. There's a way you can vet people, and how you can put things in place to make sure that. Um, so I've been building 9 years. 9 years now. There was only one attempt in which somebody, I paid them half, they did the work, and they ran away. It was not a lot of money though, but he came back. He came back and he did his work. Guarantee he did his work. So, um, but other than that, never been in a situation in which I'm calling people like bring my money and that kind of stuff. So there's a way you do it. You vet up, because sometimes there's a collaboration on the scheming, right? So there's a way you do it. Um, to keep an eye on things. You don't like you'll be surprised how much I could know even I'm not on the ground. And so there's a way you approach that, right? So come to consultation, which will be if you have any questions, come here. Go to our website, book a consultation. We can tell you how you can navigate, or we can do it for you. Then you can relax. We have a contract that we sign to protect our needs. Okay, you transfer the money to us. Why? We don't want you giving us cash on the street. Why we want you to transfer it? So you have electronic record that you actually paid us. And we have the contract that states what we're gonna do. So it doesn't, and I'm here. You can find me. You can say FBI, that's him right there. So that is it doesn't get authentic and honest than that. Okay. So by finding that kind of person, yes, like you said, is meant. And when you do, it changes a lot of things for you. Okay. And the last thing I would say is this: be patient. Be patient. You are going to you're going to figure your manhood and your womanhood in this building process. You're going to go through every emotions that exist: excitement, happiness, frustration, quit, commit. You're gonna be pushed. People support you, few. People discourage you, a lot of them. um you're gonna experience every human emotions that is available, but stay the course, believe in yourself. Okay, you must look in yourself and know that, listen, I can do this regardless of what anybody else think. It doesn't matter. And so, and then get a right team and be smart and just work and take your time. And sometimes you got to keep your mouth shut. Granted, there's a lot of people showing stuff on YouTube. Sometimes you don't have to do that because sometimes the comments can be brutal. We've been doing this a while, so every now and then we dish out a little bit. And so just build yourself and be positive and just learn. And learn as we go. And you will learn. Uh, you and whatever you think you know before you started is not going to play out like that. You are going to learn a lot of stuff in how we build back home and stuff like that. So just learn, and then go win, right? So, but the stress is going to happen, and at times there may be some time if it becomes too much. Take a break. Take 6 months off, take a year off from the project. You need. We don't want anybody getting anxiety and depression because you're trying to build this dream home. Okay, take a break, give yourself time. When I started first house, I used to do one big project a year, and I'll save and you take a break. So give yourself a break. It's not a race. Don't look at somebody's house is and say, okay, they did it in 2 years. So you're trying to do that. Now, don't take forever either because of inflation and all that stuff. But don't also have all your money tied into this house that you're not living in somewhere. Be smart. So we talk about all these things. During consultation, I ask you like, how does the finances look? How much are you trying to put in this year? And we say, what happens XYZ, XYZ. And so because anything happens, you can't get the money out of the house to do something if you have emergency, right? So we strategize with you to make sure you can stuff like that. So okay. consistent lowballing contracting, because yes, it's gonna happen. It really is gonna happen. And contrary to what people think, it's like I just don't throw money like that. I'm very, very smart with my money. I stretch it, but this is what I know. I want peace. I want a peace of mind. I don't want to go over there and something has been put out there that I don't like, and I don't, and you're already spending all this money into the house. And if something is built for you you don't like, it's gonna affect your happiness, your quality of life, period, right? And so you pay them, they can do. If you can deliver, I'll work with you. You know, if you can't, you can't. So for me, cost is quality over cost. Quality first, then cost. Okay, not cost and quality. You're not gonna get low cost and high quality. It does not work like that in life. You know that for a fact. And so it's just quality. What am I getting for this money I'm paying? And if the value is there, I'll put the money out. If the value is not there, I'm not gonna put the money out, even if it's cheap. Okay. And so these are some of the tips that hopefully has been helpful in into your building process. But it is happening. We've seen people divorce in building because it's tough. You put in these dream homes are not cheap, regardless of what people are telling you. It's not cheap. If you want to do well, you put into 300, 400, 500,000, 600,000. Can go up depending on what you want. And so it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And so start looking for the cheapest videos of a house. It's not true. Sometimes they will even tell you this house is for this price. When you call them, they will tell you it's not for that price. So it's not cheap. Okay. It gets expensive. But what it is worth it, right? To be able to build your dream home, live in there, enjoy, also to pass it down to the next generation. That is awesome. That is a way of building wealth. Let's say the money that I put in the first house, um, let's say if my father have given me a house that I would like, since I'm gonna get my own, but that money I could have invested in Ghana and make millions, millions easily. So because you don't have that, you gotta take that money, build something, then you gotta work hard and figure a way to now start doing other things, right? And so it's a noble pursuit. It's a noble pursuit. So, but you just have to give yourself time and learn and then reach out to the right people. Other than that, this ego thing, you're gonna crash. Listen, it's a marathon, it's not speed. And you go with this a little bit of this arrogance and stuff like that, you're gonna crash, you're gonna burn money in, and in the end, you would have spent more money than you should have because of these mistakes. So it is the building process is more planning, thinking. It's more intellectual stimulation than emotional stimulation. If that makes sense. So it's intellectual thing. And so that's how you approach it. And if you come from that background, then you can navigate and do it. It's not the money. The money is the second, is heart and grit and savviness and smart and adapt. That is the ingredient to building those big dream homes. It's not excitement and sometimes the money. Okay. If you are savvy, you are smart and stuff like that, you can come out with the money. You can be disciplined and come out with the money. But if it's because the emotions are great, but it's only gonna take you far because you get a foundation, you see the block work, you think like I'm done. No, you're not. You are baby step. Block work is what? Second page beginning of the second page of our building guidelines. So you are not done. The rest of the money is going to come out. About 80%, 70% at least of the money is about to come from the block after the block work. Um, that is where it's going to come. And so you're going to need the know how, right? You're going to need to know how. Okay. All right. Any more questions? If you have one or comment, I appreciate them. Other than that, I'm trying to keep these videos short for you. It's a worthy thing. Building a dream home is awesome. Um, and when you do it right, even when you stay at the nicest hotels in Ghana, you still want to come home because of the space, the comfort, um, and all that stuff. It's I've stayed. I think by the end of next year, I'll probably stayed every luxury hotel in Ghana. But when I go home, I like home. Okay. Should you break the bank and put yourself in debt to build your dream home, losing sleep over it? No, you should not. There's a bunch of stuff people can do though, especially if you're in America. I don't know what goes on. You could. There's so many ways you can navigate, and sometimes you don't have to use all your cash to do it. There's so many things that you can do to do this project. That is something we talk about in consultation. When we do that, that okay, you have this, you have that. Okay, you can take here because the interest here is that, that, that. So there's a whole different thing you can do to fund this project. So the worst thing is emergency happens, no money. And so what that'll force you to is like people who try to liquidate their homes or their land because they have emergency and you need to come out with like $20,000, $30,000. And because that's not available, they are selling, plot acres of plot which are worth 3 or 4 times because it's emergency. So this is some of the things we discussed to help you avoid any of this stuff. So you should not be stressed. If you are stressing every day about it, that means you're doing a lot of things wrong, right? The stress will come and go, but you should not be. If you're unhappy building your dream home, there's something wrong. There's a lot of things wrong. It shouldn't be, you know. Um, Now, if you get a quote and you're a little bit stressed, a little bit, that's okay. But you shouldn't have anxiety and depressed, and stuff like that. So, and that comes through experience. The first house I built with a lot of excitement, it was good. The second house, I'm just enjoying the process, because I'm seasoned and it's refined. Even the quality of video, even the things that we are doing, it came from 9 years of learning what I want, what I don't want. And also every day I spend my time looking at some house somewhere in the world, in the Philippines, in the US, something like that. I put the top, most expensive homes and I just look at them. And then maybe I might pick a window design. Maybe I might see a furniture style. Maybe I might see something chandelier. Maybe I might see the layout. I'll screenshot and I'll do my stuff. And so, because at the end of the day, you want your house to be unique. And that's what you're trying to do. Okay. So you should not do that. Right. You should not do that. Okay. So this is quick one. Just to let you know you can do it. And then manage the stress properly. And know that you're not alone. Don't quit. Don't quit because do it anyway. Even if you end up you don't like it, you can sell it, take the money back, and do something. But don't. You can do it. Okay. Other than that, if there's no questions, I'll just wrap it up so you guys can go and enjoy your Saturday. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. And so keep your eyes on the prize. The day that you finish that house and you walk in, everything would have been worth it, right? And um, sometimes if you're a couple and the spouse is not really excited about you because you've been making all these promises, never delivered, execute their dream home and gain that respect and appreciation back. Okay. So single people, appreciate you. Keep building, keep doing it, leading the pack, showing us that it can be done. If a single person can do it, couples, there's no excuse. Get it done. If your spouse don't want to do it anyway. You know, get it done. You owe it to yourself to find out what you made out of. All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and we will meet again. Please subscribe to our other channel, the Bravo um, channel that we have on YouTube, which we talk about everything outside building, just life. Everything that's impactful to us, as a people, plight in the world, education in Africa, healthcare in Africa, everything that I think is relevant, and stuff like that. So subscribe to that. Really appreciate it. Put a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, and so let's get a word out there. So hopefully can help other people do it. Okay, and I appreciate it. I'm doing this YouTube as much as I can. Someday, like all things do come to an end because of other things that I'm looking into. And so I think once I probably get done with the second house, then I probably wouldn't do any video about the building series. There's no point because I would have given everything that needs to be said, and that kind of stuff. So, but in the meantime, just take it and take what works for you, stuff like that. All right. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. Obibini, African, Super Tio, Leslie. Thanks again. Salif. Thank you, and then all the people that are watching. Appreciate you.